how's everyone doing? Today I have a horror Blu-ray and DVD update and a t-shirt as well. And if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and which one is your favorite from this lot right here. And I've seen all of these movies except for one. And some of them I haven't seen in a while though. But first up, the first four are from Severin. And Severin is doing a great job with their releases as far as the transfer special features and newly commissioned artwork, reversible artwork for some of them, and the titles overall. So if you're a fan of horror, Severin is definitely a label to check out if you haven't already. Eaten Alive, a crazy cannibal movie. I had the DVD for it, and recently got rid of that once I heard that Severin was putting out their release. And there's some good special features on here too. And I remember checking out the special features on the DVD as well. So it's some of them I believe are ported over, but yeah, this is a really bloody, gory cannibal movie and from 1980, and there's special features right there. But I like the artwork, and then you get the black case too, and then you get the the old school artwork. Although my DVD had different artwork as well. My DVD, I kind of liked that artwork for it. It was I can't remember who put the DVD out now. I don't know if it was Mondo or I can't remember that. Maybe it was Shriek Show. I think it was a Shriek Show release. But I dig this choice right here for the new artwork on it, and trying to make sure it's in there properly. I'm a little OCD about having it all lined up, but a really good cannibal movie. I remember it had something about some kind of religious fanaticism or something like that too. And then trying to read this. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, it's kind of like a Jonestown-esque kind of deal. But yeah, a good amount of blood in here. And I remember, I think there was a couple ones that I always got mixed up as far as so certain ones had some of those like animal cruelty kind of things going on. I'm not sure if it was this one or Dinosaur Valley, Massacre in Dinosaur Valley. That wasn't like I saw like two of them right around the same time, so I kind of got them mixed up as far as that. But one of them, I think it might have been this one, had some of the animal cruelty stuff going on. And I know Mount of the Cannibal God did as well, and a few other cannibal films. But you kind of it kind of goes with the territory, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that might have been that one. But next up is Emanuelle and the Last Cannibals, and the lead actress Laura Gemser's in both of these ones. So mind-blowingly stunning. And this one is it was in an Italian film, Joe D'Amato, but it's dubbed no matter what language track you choose, English or Italian. And from what I actually heard, that the English track looks better than the Italian one. But again, they're both dubbed, so it doesn't really matter. But this one, the dialogue is cheesy. The cannibal, there's some good cannibal attack parts in it, but really I think it's basically a mixture of like kind of softcore porn and cannibal movie. I feel like it has more of the softcore porn elements in here, which again, some very attractive ladies in here, especially Laura Gemser, and her real life husband was in here too, Gabriele Tenti, who passed away a long time ago now. But some good special features in this one too. And I did end up popping this one in and checking out some of the special features. The interview with Donald O'Brien, who's like one of the hunter guys in here. It was kind of it was an interesting interview. He barely talked at all about this film, like briefly for like a few seconds. Just the fact that the last time that he talked to her, he found out that her husband passed away, and that was it. That was like the very end of the interview. He basically talked about his career, and he had a really interesting career. Worked with a ton of people on just about his life too, his upbringing, and his film career. So it was pretty cool to hear that. But I kind of wish there was a little bit more about this film in the interview. But basically, they find this woman who is from this tribe of cannibals that they thought were extinct, and they go to South America to find them. And they bring this professor. So it's this professor. She's like a journalist. And then they bring a nun and like essentially a couple guides, and then there's another young girl who is working with them too, and they all go there, and they come in contact with this hunter, the hunter's wife, and one of the people helping the hunter, and they suddenly get attacked by cannibals, and they're trying to survive. And they find that the priest that they were looking for too was all his whole flock were attacked and killed by the cannibals and the cannibal tribe. And yeah, again, there's a lot of sex scenes there. Again, some of it, the dialogue and the dubbing, it just is a little ridiculous and silly, and the actions of the characters. But there's something, just trashy, sleazy, entertaining, engaging about this film. And I think the driving force is definitely Laura Gemser right there. And yeah, so it's Euro trash sleaze cannibal film from 1977. Again, you've got a bunch of the special features right there. And there's the disc artwork, the black case, and we've got the reversible artwork if you like as well. So again, I like that they're doing the reversible artwork. I see a lot more companies doing that now. And yeah, Joe D'Amato did Boo Omega Beyond the Darkness, Anthropophagus, a few other different ones out there. But next up is this one I haven't seen in a while. I'm looking forward to revisiting this one. I remember watching this when I was a young kid. Violence in a Women's Prison, again with Laura Gemser. She's, I guess, again, another journalist, and she's going undercover into this women's prison. And, there's sadistic guards, and what does it say on her? Voracious lesbians, rat attacks, feces fights, and enough graphic mayhem for a dozen women in prison trash epics. So, yeah, again, another Euro sleaze, kind of different take on it, kind of some soft core elements going on too. But this is it says, oh yeah, over the top career. Yeah, she has really had a crazy career, again with cannibals, zombies, nuns, Nazis, and now something like this. Yeah, she's worked with a bunch of different people, and yeah, this is a crazy one. I remember there was like I don't know if it was like a crazy female guard or if she was like the warden, but I remember this one being super like violent / sleazy. So like I said, I watched this when I was a young kid, so I'm looking forward to revisiting this one. And then you've got special features right there. Let's go ahead and see the reversible artwork on this one. And yep, there's the guard, the rats. So again, new transfers and stuff on these two. Bruno Mattei's infamous Filth Fest uncut in HD for the first time ever. Sleazathon. So yeah, excited to revisit that one. Again, she's so friggin' stunning. I'll pretty much watch anything that Laura Gemser's in. So next up is one that I have not seen. This is the only one of the bunch that I haven't seen. It's Threads. I'd never even heard of this one before, but I heard a ton of buzz about it. Apparently this was a made-for-TV docudrama released over in the UK. It was on the BBC, and now I think it's released over here. This is, I think, the first time in Blu-ray over here, and it's restored from a 2K scan. First time on that. A bunch of special features on there, and basically it's about it says it's graphic and haunting. It's about the effects of a nuclear attack on the working class city of Sheffield, England. So yeah, I guess it's just showing the effects of it on the people, the society overall. Yeah, I'm intrigued. No reversible artwork on this one, but there's the disc artwork. And once I view this one, I'll be talking about it a little bit more in depth. And next up is My Friend Dahmer. This is from Film Rise and MVD Visual. I heard a ton of buzz about this one. Everybody was raving about this film, and I saw it, and I was hugely disappointed in it. It's basically about a young Jeffrey Dahmer, and being in high school, and these people that call themselves his friends. And it's basically about the story of this one guy from when he knew him in high school. In fact, he made a kind of a graphic novel about it too. From what I've heard, that is actually better than the film. One of the only things that was kind of intriguing about it was parts of this were shot in his Jeffrey Dahmer's actual childhood home. So that's kind of a neat thing. But yeah, again, this is basically just how awkward he was, how he used to collect like dead animals and put them in jars and stuff. And then he would do this weird thing where he would like basically pretend to have like a seizure and like spaz out. And his so-called friends in here kind of like prompted him to continue doing that. And he did it in like the mall. He would do it like all over the place. It was just basically kind of like that, and just continuously that. It's just how weird and awkward he was. There really wasn't a ton of depth. Didn't really give, any backstory. His parents going through a divorce kind of situation, his mother having mental health issues. But it didn't, it just kind of like scratched the surface, just barely. I wish they would have gone a little bit more in depth. And I found it to be kind of boring. There really wasn't enough there for me to be intrigued. I wish they would have gone a little bit more in depth too, not just for his whole backstory, what could have created this crazy serial killer monster, but also the start. The movie ends with him picking up a hitchhiker, which was supposed to be his first kill. I kind of wish they would have gone a little bit more showing how it all began and all that kind of stuff like that, and actually his victims too, but it didn't go into that. There's interviews on here, behind the scenes, so not a ton of special features either. Everybody was raving about this one. I just didn't get the praise for it at all. I thought it was lackluster, just not enough there. For Jeffrey Dahmer, there's so much that you could talk about, and I just thought this was uninteresting. It was kind of neat that it was kind of shot, I guess the part of it was shot in his real life childhood home, but yeah, I just wanted more from it. I didn't think there was, I could never imagine myself wanting to sit through this again. His high school history was, he was an outcast and awkward, and he would make these spazzy movements, and people somehow thought that was funny. A couple people did, and it was just weird. And that's just, yeah, it was just that. And there's really not much to say about it. It says the window into, like, some of the blurbs on here just, I think some of the people on here, these writers, just say these ridiculous blurbs to get on posters and on the releases for movies, Blu-rays and DVDs. A window into the making of a monster. Yeah, a very fogged up window where you can barely see anything. A warped wonder of a movie. Disturbingly compelling and original. You have to be crapping me. There's nothing disturbing. There's nothing compelling. There's nothing original. It's just really boring, in my opinion. But again, I seem to be in the minority on that because everybody I know just raved about this friggin' film. If you want to see Jeffrey Dahmer in high school just being awkward, that's this movie. There's a little bit about his parents, but not enough to really give you any kind of compelling insight. Next up is the Centerfold Girls. This is a DVD release from Dark Sky. I'm surprised this doesn't have a Blu-ray release. I could see a company like Code Red releasing it. Be kind of like right up their alley. But this is another one where it's kind of like a mixture of like softcore elements with a slasher. He has a religious fanaticism. The main guy, he's basically killing off the Centerfold Girls, kind of like a Playmate of the Month, Playboy Playmates of the Month kind of thing. But it looked like kind of a cheaper one. One of the issues that I have is he's targeting these girls, and he has the magazines, and once he kills them, he'll like cut a hole where their face is. But the thing is, on the back side of that photo is the next month, so it'll be like January, and then on the back of it will be February, and he doesn't target the February one because the head is technically cut out because it's from cut out from the front from the January, so he's only targeting like half the months right there, half the girls. I was like, that is a huge flaw. They couldn't, like, when they did this whole Centerfold Girl magazine, they couldn't do it on separate pages or something to make it actually, a little bit more, I guess, I don't know, the whole aspect of that. If he's somebody that crazy and that fanatic, he would have done like both months. So I don't know. It was a weird little thing that bothered me in my mind when he's going through each month like that and doing that. But he's basically, he's harassing these women who were Centerfold girls and, being naked in there. And he's saying, you're being dirty and, this isn't, you're not doing the right way. And all this religious fanaticism and crazy. He's like, I'll help you. And he's calling them and harassing them and then stalking them and then finding them and killing them. And it's broken up to a few different segments. I want to say is there 4 total? I think there's like 4 total ones. And yeah, there's some moments that I thought was good, but then the pacing got a little bit dramatic in certain ones. It just didn't mesh as well. And then kind of towards the middle to the end, it kind of dragged. And you just kind of, for me, I found myself not to be that engaged. In the beginning, I was interested. The killer was a weird-looking killer. I'm trying to remember his name, Andrew Prine. And, at first it was kind of working. And he's, the girls, especially my favorite part which I felt like it could have been a whole movie with that one aspect where this one girl is a model and she's going to this island that's secluded with other models and photographers and stuff like that. And that whole segment was by far the best because there's kind of other people like arguing and kind of added a lot of tension to it, and there's a little bit of mystery and intrigue and what's really going on, and paranoia aspects. So that could have been a whole. Okay, actually it says that it's a 3-story arc. I thought it was 4, but it felt like it was 4. But so it's a 3-story arc. So each one is him like stalking different victims of these Centerfold girls. But that one segment was by far the best. But the rest of them just kind of. It just felt lackluster overall. That middle one was by far the standout. And I liked elements of it, but it wasn't as cohesive as it could be. The pacing wasn't as good, and the killer, the ending was anticlimactic to me. It just felt kind of disappointing. But overall, it's just about average. It could have been improved upon. Next up is I'll show you the T-shirt first. I was on Facebook, and there's a company MVD who. They have a whole bunch of different lines now. MVD Rewind was the first spin-off line. Now they have a couple other ones. MVD Rewind is putting out a whole line, and so they have a whole Facebook page. And I was on there, just happened to be on there, and they had like a live video going. So I checked in, and if you I was writing comments, and you can ask them questions. And they have one of the guys who created this movie, the Violence Movie. And if you commented, and they picked a couple winners to get a T-shirt, and I was one of the winners. It says contact them, and they'll give you the address, and they'll send a T-shirt out. So the Violence Movie. So I got this T-shirt by tuning in to MVD Rewind on their live stream video on Facebook. And what I didn't know was they sent me the T-shirt, and then they sent me the movies too. It's the Violence Movie 1 and 2, and they signed it up right there. And the Violence Movie 1 and 2, they're just really short films. The first one's 14 minutes, the second one's 20 minutes. It's from trying to remember, like the late 80s, I believe. 1988, yeah, and then additional footage added in 2003. So yeah, it's basically just two brothers, and they're just making kind of an ode to the slasher genre, and definitely Friday the 13th. And one of the things that was pretty cool was Harry Manfredi actually I guess did the score, so that was awesome. But basically it's just two brothers making home movies, slasher-esque, where this guy breaks out of prison and just starts attacking. So yeah, it's just fight for survival, and it's ridiculous, it's cheesy. It's a home movie of two brothers doing that. Imagine you and your friends doing that as teenagers and stuff. It's exactly like that. So I'm kind of torn, because while it is fun and you can relate to that aspect of it, it's also the same kind of thing, like who's really going to want to see it outside of your friends and family? Like again, it's one of those things, like I think of that, and then at the same time I think about, well, it's kind of cool to see that these people actually released it like that, and it makes you think about when you were a kid and you would do things like that with your friends, or kind of play along like that. But there's so many continuity errors, so many just ridiculous things, and just crazy scenes. I mean, obviously they didn't have the budget, and the camera was shoddy, and just so many different things you can pick apart. There's actually one thing I will say on Violence Movie 2, they're on the roof. That was surprisingly good. I'm surprised that that was pulled off the way it was. But yeah, besides that, they're home movies from two brothers. I mean, that's basically what it is, pretending to be in a slasher movie. If that sounds appealing to you, check it out. But there we go. There's what the DVD looks like, and I'll show you the back of it. It's got that burned disc right there. But I do appreciate the artwork. And then they said here's it's a promo copy. Thought you might like it. MVD version features bonus features and two-sided artwork. And it says go to Amazon, write a review. There you go. So that's a little thing they put in there. That was a cool surprise, because I didn't know they were sending that. And again, this is, for me, I'm just torn about it, because I'm like, I feel like this for a lot of low-budget films, especially shot on video stuff, like, besides your friends and family, who's really going to enjoy it? But then at the same time, it's like, you can relate to it, because I feel like, when I was a kid, I remember not filming, but, kind of pretending to be, slasher, kind of, and, obviously playing Manhunt and stuff like that, but then sometimes you kind of pretend that you're, Jason Voorhees or something like that. So, yeah, it's got some relatable, aspects to it, and it's kind of fun to see them having so much fun with it. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of torn on it, like I said, but kind of interesting too to see it. So there you go. Those were all the movies right there. If you've seen any of them, definitely let me know what you think of them. Leave me a comment or video response down below, and then once I check out Threads, I'll do a proper review on that, talking about it a little bit more in depth. And let me know what was your favorite from all this as well. Leave me a comment or video response down below again, and hope everybody's doing well. Take care.